What's up, Superdojo athletes? Are you ready to learn single nunchucks? I am. Let's get started. All right, team, we're gonna divide the first combo out of 3 into 3 chunks. That way you can learn little parts, and when you put them together, it'll help you develop your speed, your confidence, and your precision. All right, team, this is how you do it. You're gonna start with your hands on your sides just like this. The first technique in the chunk is to throw a thrust with your right hand and tuck your left hand underneath. Do it at the same time. So your arms at your sides, you thrust with your right and you tuck your left. Then your nunchucks hand, your right hand comes across and you deflect with your left hand just like this. Your fingers are tight together. Then your left hand pulls back to your ribs and you heel strike. So you want to imagine you're hitting someone with the heel of your nunchucks. Start with your hands at your sides. Both hands are in a fist position. You're going to thrust and tuck. Your left hand comes under your armpits and you hit with the wood part of your chucks. Your right hand comes across and you deflect. So cross and deflect. And the last part is pull your hands back and heel strike just like this. Memorize the words you say to help you get this down faster. Start with your hands at your sides. Thrust and tuck. Cross and deflect. Pull and heel strike. Thrust and tuck. Cross and deflect. Pull and heel strike. Practice that part a whole bunch of times because you don't want to overwhelm yourself by not mastering part 1 and trying to do the entire thing together. So go ahead and pause or rewind and do this part a whole bunch of times until you've really figured it out. All right, guys, so from this point, you guys have already mastered chunk number 1. It's time to move to chunk number 2. So if you've got chunk number 1, you know that it's just boom, 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 right? The next part we're gonna do is to pull and punch. Your chucks come up to your right ear and your left hand comes up for a punch. You wanna aim as high as your partner's face. So we're gonna start with our hands on our ribs and we just finished the heel strike. We're gonna pull and punch. The next thing we do is tap and heel strike. So it looks like this. This hand comes across. See how I bend my elbow over? It comes across and you tap your bicep. Boom! And you hit that person on the other side of their head. So after we do the heel strike here, we're gonna pull and punch, tap and heel strike, pull your chucks back to the same position, pull and palm heel. So we've got 3 parts now. We're gonna start with the pull and punch, tap and heel strike, pull and palm heel. This part mixed me up so many times when I was developing it because I kept forgetting which one was the punch and which one was the palm heel. And that is what precision is all about. Doing it the right way. So let's do it a few more times. We're going to pull and punch, tap your bicep, heel strike, come right back, palm heel, and pull back to your ear. All right, guys, one more time. Pull and punch, tap and heel strike, pull and palm heel strike. All right, guys, really spend some time trying to figure out how to do that quickly and precise. You want to make sure all of your moves and your hands and your stance and your focus goes exactly where you want it to go, and you don't make mistakes. You got to practice it so many times that you get it right. And the last part of combo 1 is called chunk number 3. And chunk number 3 is my favorite part because we're unleashing our chucks and we're swinging them around. This is also the part that weeds out the wimpy kids from the champions, because as you're learning, you're probably going to hit yourself in the elbow, in the knee, in the hips, or even in the head. So be patient with yourself when you're learning it. Here's how the strikes go. You're going to take those chucks from the last position where they're up by your face and your hand is reached out. You're going to let one of them go, and you're going to strike the stick that you're holding, touch it to your hip like this. That way it wraps around your back. So we do a diagonal strike. The next part, take that stick and bring it up to your shoulder. If you touch the bone that goes across right here, your collarbone, it's really going to help that nunchuck wrap around your back instead of smacking you. The next part is to do a diagonal strike across your hip. So you're going to want the tip of that stick to touch your hip just like this. Now imagine that you're going right back to that shoulder again. So as you bring it up, you imagine it going to that shoulder, your elbow goes high, you come around your head, and you do the same diagonal strike that you did in the very beginning, just like this. Now, the next part is a spin and catch, but let's review what we've done so far. Our chucks are wrapped tight. We have our left hand out with a palm heel, and we pulled back. That's where we actually begin. So we're going to let go of the one that we're not holding. We're going to strike diagonally and touch our hip. Make sure that your nunchuck wraps around your back. Bring it up to this shoulder. Make sure that it wraps, it doesn't slap. Then diagonal strike across just like this. Then pretend you're going right back to that shoulder again. So remember, we did a diagonal strike. Bring it back up to that shoulder, around your head, and to your hip. Okay, let's repeat it a few more times. Make sure you're holding your chucks just like this. Now there's one that you're going to let go of and strike with, and one that you're going to hold on to very tight. So you want to make sure you know which one's which. The one that's closest to your fingers is the one you're going to strike with, and the one that's closest to your thumb is the one that you're going to hold on to. So we just did the palm and pull. You're going to strike to your hip just like that. You notice how quickly I did the strike? Bring your stick up to your opposite shoulder, your left shoulder. So right hand, left shoulder. Strike across diagonal this way. Now you guys might have felt how you just made an X. So we make an X when we do this one. We strike across, we do a diagonal strike, we come up to our shoulder, and then we strike a diagonal strike again. We reverse the motion, come back to our shoulder, around your head, and strike. That's the short little combo. The next part is a spin and catch, and then we got the last move after that. Pull and palm heel, strike up, strike around your head. Now, I always hit my head when I try to do this X combo, because when you go down and you try to come straight up, your chuck wants to go this way and your hand wants to go this way. So you know what actually happens? Your hand comes up and your chuck comes like this. So take an extra second, strike, and then make sure it's a little bit bigger than normal. Strike around your head, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Always making sure those nunchucks wrap around your back. Now the next thing we're going to do is called the spin and catch. What we do is we take our thumb and we point it up. Notice that the string is at the top where our thumb is. Our finger goes up too, and you wrap it around and then make a high five. That's when you grab it with the rest of your fingers. Pretty easy, right? You might need to practice this a few times. So let's do it again. We're going to start on our hips. Our thumb points up. we stick our finger up, it goes around your finger, and then you catch it with the rest of your fingers, just like this. So after we do the strike, it's on our hip, our thumb points up, we go around our finger, and then catch it. Only let it go around your finger once. If it starts to go around again, it's not gonna make it all the way back around for you to actually catch it. Start on your hip, up, finger points up, you come around, and then catch it just like this. At the very end, take a right step forward and cross your arms this way, because this is the loaded or the set position for the next combo. One more time through for the review. This is chunk 3. Palm heel and pull. Strike to your hip, to your shoulder, to your hip, around your head, spin and catch as you step and cross. All right, team, this might sound a little bit weird, but this is how I want you to practice it. Take each chunk and do it 7 times, nice and slow. You don't have to be high performance when you're first learning it. That will definitely come, as long as you guys have a clear goal and patience in yourself to achieve it. Even if you totally stink at it at first, you bust up the side of your head, you gotta have the determination to never give up, even if it's painful and challenging. So do each chunk 7 times in a row. Then I want you to double it up. Do chunk 1 and 2 together 7 times. So like pretend that instead of these 3 little chunks, you combine chunks 1 and 2 to create like a giant chunk. Right? Do that 7 times. And then after that, forget about chunk 1 and just do chunk 2 and 3 together. Do that 7 times. Just practice it nice and slow and smooth. Don't make any mistakes. Just try to go right through it and be deliberate from one strike right to the next. When you're done that, put it all together and practice it 7 times. I think 7 is one of the magical numbers when you're practicing. And when you do the entire combo 7 times, you're gonna know which chunk is your weakest. And that's the one you gotta practice the most. Is it this part where you're practicing all those strikes? I don't know. Is it gonna be the actual nunchuck strikes where they're wrapping around your body? For most kids, that's what's gonna be. Or maybe it could be the spin and catch. For me, that was the most challenging thing. Now, what I just said might sound kind of confusing. So, wherever you're viewing this, either on Facebook or on YouTube, if you check the link in the description, I have a very good and powerful overview in the way that you guys should practice it. All the moves I just talked about, they're written out. So you can put it up in front of you and practice saying the moves as you do it to help with memorization and to build your confidence to keep getting faster and more precise. Once you guys share a video of you performing this combo for me, combo 1, made up of all 3 chunks, and just busting it out super smooth, then I'll send you the link for video number 2. You guys will learn combo 2. Now, there's only 3 combos in the entire thing, so learn this quickly and practice as often as you can so that you can keep moving on to the next part. All right, guys, I believe in you. You're gonna figure this out. You're gonna be able to do this one really, really good. And remember, stinking at something is the first step to being really good at something.